it's just that people have different perspectives to everything. Especially when it comes to media, everybody looks at media in different way, from their different perspective. So, the first thing when people say media, the first thing they think about is what? TV.
TV, yes.
But the fact is that media is more than just TV because it existed centuries and centuries ago. It's not just TV today.
Yes.
So I summarized the meaning of media here, if we can. So first of all, media is lots of instruments, tools, and different outlets they use. The word media was applied to newspapers 2 centuries ago. So media or medium, it is a collective communications, as you see, outlets or tools that are used to store or deliver information or data to a large number of people. So as we see here, there is the TV media or broadcasting, and we have different types of media. So we have the print media, like magazines, and these are typically published almost weekly. And we have, the print, different prints. Maybe you can see it everywhere. I think this is an amazing media.
Yes.
This is a very important media.
No.
متى سنة متى So if you see this, when you see this here, this the crown up there, it's very well known brand. You find it in mugs, in t-shirts, in posters. It says "Calm down and drink" or something. So it says "Sara Simani." Calm down and speak to. If you have a market, when you go as a tourist anywhere in the world, you have a big market full of t-shirts. Each t-shirt says something, and people buy them and wear them and walk around with it. You are spreading tifina and tamazigh around the world, and that is a print media. People read it and look at it and ask, "What is this?" This is all print media. All this print media. I grabbed this from the restaurant. This is also print media outside, and this is a card, a New Year card. So that's one typical media. We will come to the TV in a minute. So let's translate this. We talked about newspapers and magazines and outdoors print, such these little collective things. And then there is something very important, which is we're going to go on the desktop, and that's called photography. And photography, it's on the desktop, or maybe at the end. Yes. Photography is extremely powerful, very powerful. Very powerful media. Characters, and it could be even on Facebook. If you hate someone or you're against a politician, you can make a photo, make him look very bad, and just put it there. And people who they don't know him, they will take the message that is a very bad person. So it is a science art.
C'est une science des arts. La photographie.
Science art. It delivers the message very quickly. At the same time, it's obviously there's science behind it, and it's a very good application. I advise tamazighte to use it as much as they can. Yeah, I can explain this. This basically, in 2014, I went to Libya to cover the the election. To cover because there was election happening. So I was covering there. And in the airport, which was occupied by the Islamists at the time, but he doesn't know that I'm a journalist.
وغزال بنت التنانس.
He thought I was foreign,
إتشال سبرانيس.
Tunisian, something. And I put my handbag on the machine and my coat, and he asked me to empty my bag and take out the screwdrivers from my bag. I said to him, I don't have screwdrivers in my bag. He said to me, I told you, take out the screwdrivers from your handbag. I took my handbag and I did this to it. Emptied everything in my handbag, so 2 pens like this dropped from my bag. I said to him, there is your screwdriver.
Yes, walking to the using this team.
So he looked at it like this, and then he insulted me and he said, well, he insulted me, he swore at me. And then I took my things and he was swearing at me. I was collecting my, swearing. I took my things and I put in my handbag, and I was climbing to the stairs, and then he was أذن ظن يا حقيرة مش متربية أهلك مش مربينك. I stopped. I couldn't help it. I stopped. I was angry. I turned to him. I said to him, "You are مش متربي." And he attacked me with his Kalashnikov. He hit me on my mouth and broke my teeth. So people came quickly to stop because some people recognized me. They hold him. What's going on? They took me to a room. I called my channel. I'm just telling you the story so I can tell you how media works.
To tweet the Facebook
I tell you how media works. When I called the channel, I told them I was very scared, I was crying, and I told them what happened. This straight away came out, quickly. And my manager, he called the airport and he told them I am going to talk about this life now. So they put on the news that I was attacked by Ansar al-Sharia in that airport. And they made a whole live show that day. I didn't even leave the airport yet. Everything was in the news. In reality, there is nobody hold this and said to me, "Tahajjabi wa illa nufajri." In reality, it's not like that. The story is different. Tenfust is different. But media made it look more bigger than it is by this picture. So this is how media can change events, can make it bigger and can exaggerate. Also another type of media, that's enough. Also another type of media which is extremely important for Amazighan, and that's cinema. Cinema is very, very important type of media because it tells the world who are Amazighan, if we're going to use it for us. And sadly, we have very poor cinema. Agdud, or a nation without cinema and theater, it's very, very limited for people to know about them. Because if you have a theater, like for example in Tunisia, there is a Qartaj. People, they come and watch, but they only watch the wrong material. So there is like a lot of music, Arabic music there. Every year, lots of money spent there. But the thing is, people say الموسيقى العربية and الوطن العربي because of this. So people, so the identity changes because of those big events. But we don't blame them. We have to blame ourselves. And then we have radio. Radio also is extremely important because when we are driving to work, we put radio on in the car, we put radio in the kitchen, we put radio everywhere at work, in the office. So radio, extremely important tool of media because you're listening. And when you're listening, you're imagining things. And it depends on the it takes a very good radio journalist to produce a very good show, because there's no picture. It's all in the head. So radio is very important for Imazighen to try and use radio. Broadcasting, broadcasting, TV, online.
News.
Yeah, online.
Tout ce qui est TV.
Yeah. Broadcasting is extremely important, and this is what I'm going to focus about today, not because it's more important than everything else that I said, because everything is important. Everything is important, even the online news, electronic news. We say in the computer, online news. But I'm going to speak about broadcasting and TV because I have experience in it. I am going to share with you my experience with the things that I've seen with my eyes and the things that I've lived with my own experience. So before we do that, let's talk a little bit about broadcasting. What is it? And what is it? What it includes? Mainly is obviously the news. In غميسة.
كنا خارسني السنة كنا خارسني نغميس. نيوز. ها؟
جورنال.
السنة نقبل. أغميس جورنال effectivement أغميس خارسني نغميس. Nous sommes directement أغميس إن نغميس c'est news. D'un côté elle a du sens.
Okay.
Elle a du sens.
So what is news?
ذا جوثن يسألنا إن نغميس.
It's very important to think about it deeply. What is really news?
خمد كان شطاح ذا شوث.
So,
نغميس.
is news what people want to know?
Est-ce que يسألنا إن نغميس دين يبغى نغش السلن؟
Or is it whatever the office staff talk about every day in the office?
نعذين يهضرن دي البيروات الغاشين.
Discuss it every day?
تقصيرن.
Or is it anything that people don't know?
نعين أني كوزانها الغش.
Okay, so news is more than just facts, or
plus que les effets.
Or more than just facts and information. It affects our life every day. So then news is actually affecting our lives every day, whether it's true or false.
Yeah.
Even if it's false,
زمانات تبدل
it affects our life.
كتاوي سياسي فينا كنيسنيوا.
So the news affects our life and affects how we live, how we react, how we perform.
Donc اسميس نغميسن تبدل الثينزات أمكن تدير أمكن لقى نخدم how to perform and أمكن لقى نلحو how we function.
Function, yes.
Yeah.
And also how we make decisions. So news broadcasting are the watchdog of every government or authority that owns it.
إن نغميسن التلفزيون أكيد من تلفزيونات.
ده أساس.
ذا أساس واش الدور ذا أساس
and affects the system of government requires a quality of news. This quality of news that's going to be sent to the public. But also the public have to pay attention. Because if the public is not paying attention, then it's not effective. So the owners or the people who they are working on the news, they need to know how to get the people's attention. Now, when this watchdog, access, rolls effectively, then the information that they sent, that need to be sent, does the influence. It works. And then it works whether positive or negative. Now that was media, what it means. Going to talk about now the policy of every almost channel that exists in the world that claims that they're doing their job effectively and at the same time sincerely, professionally. Let's, for instance, talk about manipulation for certain channels.
On va parler dans un premier temps de la manipulation de certains canaux.
We have this channel in England. It's called Magharibiya.
Elle est basée en Angleterre.
It's very expensive to have a channel in England, and it's very difficult to get a job in England. And it's very, very expensive to live in England. So why these channels succeed? Because they have funds. And those funds, they come from not a sincere journalists or journalism, but they come from politicians. And there are lots of people who they're willing to work on these channels only because they need the job and they need to be in England. I personally was I received a proposal from this channel to work with them. To work where? To work with this department. I never, anybody talks to me or calls me or asks me for something, I never say no straight away. I have to go and see. So I said okay, I will come and sit down and talk with you. I went to this channel, and the first thing I see is that the Department of TAMAZGHA, they didn't have the facilities. They didn't have good facilities, but the Arabic department have everything. I also saw Amazighan, قبايليين Moroccan. I saw this particular TV presenter, she's with me on Facebook. She's not on but on Facebook. Yes, on Facebook. She didn't dress up well, she didn't have makeup. And they asked her to do a show that was about Fasca, right? So they set like 2 chairs and just outside, not in a studio, and 2 cameras, so they can. And all they talk about, I asked them, what do you talk about in the TAMAZGHA department? All they talk about is traditionals, music, what we eat, what we do in New Year, Fasca, Muslim, we are Muslim people. What do we do in our Fasca, like TAMAZGHA come from a different planet. And they asked me also to appear in the show, and I said no problem, and I sat and I told them what we do in Libya. I actually have an interview there with the Qaba'ilit. I took it with me. I have one in the house, so I took it with me. And I spoke about TAMAZGHA Libya, what they do in Fasca.
Donc في كذا رئيس كيخدم المزرعة الليبية القوسلة هي اللي تقنا فاسكا سي لو on apprend beaucoup de كنا كيتسني غير مهدي تقبلي في النار تصل لنا تعرف دونك صار مليح المزرعة دونك اللي تقنا فاسكا.
So I took everything with me in my head and I spoke to a few people and I went back. And then we had a chat about me working. So I said, do you know what I do? In my show. They said TAMAZGHA, and we know we are Libyan Namazigh, you done Namazigh shows, and I said I do chat shows, I speak about politics.
لكن كاين نسني كنخدموا في لي زيميسيون افيك خاطر تحكوا في داكيس خدم قطر خدم نزرا كنخدموا تصل لي شو لي بروغرام الناس نو كاينين خدموا لي بروغرام دون بوليتيك.
So we Amazighan, we have issues too that we need to discuss. So that job didn't happen.
That's question that I'll contribute and say bye.
And then we're going to talk about the Arabic channels such as Al Jazeera, for instance, that it depends. Sometimes it will give you news that shows you how important Amazighan are. And sometimes Amazighan are causing problems, they divide the country.
توات زغما ملي أروح ينطر شان اسمه الجزيرة أم كياتي كوال أتساك وذ مش بحد إني مزيغا أندا تشوف في ثانت وذي كوال دعني أم كيف نصوزو دي فاسون كروية توات ما يوجهو.
And I will talk about my personal experience, and that's Tagrawla or the revolution in Libya.
Donc on مسلايا باش نسمع فيك يمكن لا واش تاكي يمكن يستلميثينو ليكسبيريونسينو اياشا امشي كيميكال اللي قدافيه اللي تاكاولا امشي كاي يسخدمن باش تصالي قدافيه وكيف وهو تبعت ميديا غاشادين.
I don't know how much did you follow the revolution and the war between Libyans and revolutionaries and Gaddafi, or about Amazighan rebels and Gaddafi. I don't know how much you watched on the news, but Amazigh people in Libya, they sincerely, the rebels, the Igrawliyin, they really thought that the media was with them, that Qatar was with them.
نايفمون اللي ما كاين يقول هذا اللي قدافي وما كاين يغلي مي ولا الجزيرة تهضر دطاس في مزيغان سواني الهان فوهمن انك واو سي اكستراوردينير نقول لهم باي شيران.
But then afterwards, when people they were very busy fighting, and they're not thinking about every single detail.
دونك الاثنين الهان دو منو كنا سالينا قدافي وتولين الجزيرة تهضر بلاسن بلاتنا نزوري كا دونك والهنا ناس سوانش تاكي ثاني الهان تو منو خاطر نيكس نعرف شغل التيران ماشي دويا تنزيان نتراجعو كان.
The ones who they were really thinking and watching, and not just thinking and planning, while our people fighting in the field are the Arabs and the ideologists, people who they have the political parties such as Muslim Brotherhood and the other political party, the Arabic nationalism political party.
مدوية كذا النظام متمثل ليبيا لدغا وكذلك شد يسنسل من الإسلاميست نا لبعثيس إكسان دي بارتي بوليتيك لم تنزيهن تولي تراجع الماء على السيستم بنكزن بيطار بنكزن في الحكم أكيد ضروري كنيسي مزيانية يالتي كنت راح تمل نقولي أنت ما مازال غادي نبني نسيو التيران كذا كنا تنزيهن تصافي جات توالين ما كمل
So what happened then is that Amazighan were too busy fighting because they believed that at last we're going to have freedom.
Amazighan الهاند vraiment d'une façon sincère de منو باسكو منن ستيل اللي إلا قدر لي القدافي.
They give their blood, their kids.
كان إذا منسن كنا نونسن.
Plus there are areas like Zwara when he said Atwilu, it means the.
أتلوحة أتلوحة
We have a moon, black moon, surrounded by 3 Arabic areas.
Donc c'est un carroisson noir entouré par des zones arabophones.
So Zwara in the middle, our young men are there.
Zouara au milieu.
So yeah, wait, Gammas, we have the Arabs from here hitting, and the Gaddafi troops from there.
Donc les Arabes qui sont contre Kadhafi c'est jihad, Kadhafi c'est jihad le mas.
And we have the Arab tribes, the honored Arab tribes, قبائل الشريفة. They call themselves. They were leading the war against Gaddafi, but they turned the blind eye on Amazigha.
Donc les tribus nobles arabes خدموا la guerre صح avec les tribus mais واش لنا ناس مزيران وتولينا نسن.
And media is quiet.
Media سوس ما فيهاش تحكي.
So when you see this, the red line here that says مراسل الجزيرة قوة عسكرية كبيرة, whatever the news says there, it's all misleading. So many of those, a lot of those, okay, so many of those are false information.
La plupart des gens qui disent le c'est des fausses informations. Les guerres comme c'est mazéran, mais ma toile qui تنسن ده avec le guerre نتني يقصد دائما نتني باش توم البوفوار دي ميديا.
And in أدرار نفوسها or in the mountains in نفوسها are Amazigh rebels fighting there. Jadu, Yifrin, Lalut, and mostly the rebels of Jadu. They're the ones who they claimed the victory. They're the ones who they actually took the weapons from Gaddafi troops.
Donc أدرار نفوسها عندك يعني تدير خاطر المزيان اللي بيضان لأن قد ويلو صحاب البحر عندنا تيجي طبعا العصف ولا الجايث ولا قاعدين إذا هنسن أتنفسها لأن يفرن جادو ناموت وقدك ثلاثة كذا وكاباو donc الاثنين أصحاب الجادو les plus atroces الاثنين قصدنا في البالي نقدافي وصلنا de façon définitive.
Yeah, they're all were fighting and they have strategies in each of them in certain location. But if it wasn't for Amazigh and Adar Anfusa, because they know the mountain very well, the victory in Gaddafi troops will not happen. But yet on those red lines in the channel that we were working in,
تقدمنا هذه القطار تشوفي الباطل أنت كتظن باللي هذه المزيغان الودر أنفسك صغير ما يماتوا لي نيوز وكسر ولا شيء بلاطناس مزيغان.
they write
أشي جوهان.
The rebels of Zantan occupied the storages of weapons of Gaddafi's troops.
Les rebelles من زنتان بعض من زنتان اكشمن القاضي ان القذافي كسن سلاح بوينت صغيرين تاع كو داني نزرع جادو دي مزارع مدرن.
And we have phone calls from our brothers in the field.
What
is this? We are the one who done it and we have people dying. You have to tell them.
نسى الناس اللي صار نسى ديال الخطر نسى شكان وسكي تبكر تسكي ديالنا كان كنيك صغيرين قداش من شي زنتان لا خاصة تو تشوي تغطن قبل مازال ما كانش النية وظننا باللي باكمل.
We tell them and they say no, we have the information.
نياسن les responsables عشان كان ما كيكينا سي با فري لسنو نساعد لي سورسنا.
So this is how events change with media.
غادي ذكينا بالكدينا اسميت نحواج النوي ديما زيغ اسمي ديكي غالي كان ولا متى كيبدل اللونغاج نو دي بيكوج مازيغون صوريتي مازيغ تولو قدمنا مازيغ اللي انا ديكي كون زغان غلان الى شونجي الديسكور بلو جامي تورا يبارل دو بيان دي زيمازيان مش حاجه لا مانيبيولاسيون شي
Okay, so the story changes.
L'histoire a changé.
Just with one small line on the screen.
Zra, elle a fait un travail de stratégie incroyable à cause d'une seule ligne, tout a changé. Elle a fait une émission.
When us Amazigh we were working in this channel, we were struggling. When we see in a certain show they give false information, we then go and we try to fix it. We try to bring the truth.
Tellement, كان دي قطر Soleman Elmansouri كان لا ديفيزيون ليبيان احرار دونك كانت اون ديفيزيون اسمها حوجه ديال القدافي كانت اون ديفيزيون ليبيا احرار and then انت تتصرف انت كي راك تبدل اسكي دبليتي كالكي سنه.
So if you look up there it says عبر الهاتف وليد الإدريسي. He's from my city. When the problems were happening, and it says Zwara there, we try to bring witnesses to tell us the truth because we want to try and tell the truth to people.
انت تلا اكسبلوتي سيت بوتيت برانشي سا دون سونس بوزيتيف وتساود انايا انت زواره سينات باش دينين نفكر لا فري ستوار كي كان قدافي انا اكسبلوتي سا لا جوي لا كونتر انفورماسيون يسن لا سو كومون لا gérer.
But it's not very successful because just one person working.
C'était pas un grand succès parce qu'il a haché وحده ولا شويه. اللي تيماشين اللي تدي من
And we only have 1 hour.
والساعة كان الواس يلس ساعة
Gassigen 1 hour.
يوم الواس كان ساعة c'était pas suffisant. Donc manque de personnel, manque de temps, c'était pas facile de passer tous les messages.
And the rest of the broadcasting all live coverage all Arabic.
حاجة كأني أظن ديك 23 ساعة ل 24 ساعة صباح تم الديف وماشي ديال الله الشانة كملت الطاس حاجة 16 بومباردمون باللي مزيان ما نفجوهم كامل.
So because we are limited in media, we are very small in this big media. We did not succeed politically. Politically, we failed.
Politiquement, on a failli. Pour le dire, pour le reconnaître. C'est notre faute, on n'a pas su pointer le vrai doigt d'accueil-là, c'est les médias.
So because media leads people, media manipulates people.
خاطر الميديا تمانيبيولي الغاشي تسوي الغاشي 5 سنين هو.
This is a very, very, very important example. This is Saif al-Gaddafi, the son of Muammar Gaddafi.
Voilà un exemple concret, ouais.
He was captured during the revolution. He was captured in Libya when he was trying to escape. He was trying to escape through the desert, the south of Libya, where I received before they announced in the channel that they captured him. I have a friend who works there.
ساهم داكول اللي خدم لنا جموحق سي تلقيني مازال تلقيين لي تينيري لينا يساو لاسن جوست قبل الطفن انا ملي
when they before they announced it
قبل دافونسي اللي كتطفن يساو لاسن تو سويت انسان
because he was there
الا لينا جالس نجاوب الطفن في قدامي
and he told me that in Mohaventiniri they captured Saif al-Islam Amazigh people.
Amazigh نتوانا كنتيني تنطفن نمشي على فورماسيون اكسكلوزيف سيف القدافي.
There were rebels Arab from the Arab tribes or the honored Arab tribes from Zintan, not far away from the area where they captured Saif al-Islam.
Donc les tribus مشرفين كدناف les nobles tribus qui n'étaient pas loin des Nars.
They caught him, they called media, we found him. And they took the victory of catching Saif al-Islam.
Sur toutes les chaînes du monde. Zintan, Tfon, chez les Arabes en Libye, sur tous les chaînes,
with the weapons. And this is a picture of them claiming the victory.
هذا الزنتان ويقود من سن يقود من الأخذات تواليم. Donc voilà, روحنا نسخون نقول تدفون أكيد ضروري في كل شيء هذا نعدنا كل تكتنا.
And until today, we will open the discussion in a minute. And until today, until this day, this moment, Saif al-Islam is still in Zintan's hold. He is not in the court. He is not to the authorities. He's not in Lahai. He is in their house in Zintan. Of course, I was furious because I know the truth. And I'm a journalist. I was very, very, very gutted that I feel we are lying to people.
Yes.
And I was very angry. So what I did, I'm stuck. I called my friend who told me the story, and I said to him, you have to come on the TV. I'll do the show. I will not say anything because I can't, because I'm a journalist. I cannot be biased. So you have to tell the story to the people.
tout de suite écrire l'émission maintenant tu es en train de manipuler. C'est pas vrai l'histoire,
And I was very lucky because this is my friend. He's not Amazigh. Well, he thinks he's not, but I believe only he is. So he doesn't speak Tamazighte. Okay. But he's an honest person.
Il est honnête.
So he agreed.